Okay then, let's get it on. It's the World Team Shootout here in Killarney in our third quarter final, and an absolute belter. Wales versus Malta, a very tight game on paper, and we're going to find out if it's going to be a tight game on the table. Joining me to talk us through this one of the top ultimate pool professionals, Dom Cooney. Dom, great to have you in here for this. It's a great matchup, isn't it? This really is an evenly balanced contest here.
Yeah, it is. It's very hard to call, and as you've seen already this afternoon, one frame pool, anything can happen. I know everyone says it so often, but it is a lottery. It is amazing what you see in these one frame scenarios.
Yeah, what we've seen so far is it's every frame there is something on it, because it's a 14 frame match, so essentially a race to 8 frames, but with a 40-minute match clock, we're not getting to the 14 frames. So you just want to get yourself in front, control the clock. It's a 7-man team, so you put your 7 players out and then you rotate. Player 1 comes off, player 2 goes on, and so forth. Once we get to frame 8, you can change your order, you can bring in subs. So the squads, the teams with squads of more than 7 can rotate. I mean, you've played international pool for a long time, Dom. It's nothing like playing for your country. Can you imagine doing it in a shootout format and doing it out there at such a short race and with all the pressure going on?
On live television
on live TV.
Something that international pool hasn't really seen for a long time, if ever. And you can hear in the background the huge difference in this one frame pool, with the crowd get so excited, and there's so much pressure. You see mistakes in one frame pool that you would never normally see in a proper match if the players were playing like a race to 7. But that's purely because of how much pressure and tension there is out there.
Yeah, nothing is easy. It doesn't matter if it's a routine finish or not. It's just not easy. You can't really control yourself. It's very, very tough. It's also worth pointing out that these two have played each other in the World Team Championships, and Wales did get over Malta on that occasion, although Malta are slightly better placed with a chance to qualify. They are tied, but Malta have got a game more in hand, and they've got a couple of good games to finish as well. Wales will feel like they're long odds to qualify. I'm not sure if that will play a part in what we're about to see here.
What I can tell you is Gary Carr, who's at the table now, I did actually play him on Friday or Thursday in the Masters, and he's a very good shot maker. It was a close match, and I was fortunate to come out the right side. But you see there, he was trying to make something happen, and it's just not quite come off. And already he's eyeing up a shot. He's seen it so quick.
You're pretty good at this commentary thing, Don. Call him a big shot maker, and here we go. He's coming up with a big shot.
He's making me look good, isn't he?
Let's see if he can come up with something special here to get us underway. No, change of plan here. He's still trying to get something special, just a different plan.
Chip it in.
Oh, it's a decent effort, but not made it. At least he's blocked off that red, but in international 8-ball rules, he's a mile behind here.
It's interesting to know if Malta have a slight advantage in that in Malta, a lot of their events are televised, I believe. So I'd imagine, compared to a lot of the Welsh players, they've had a lot more comfortable in front of the cameras.
Yeah, experience with the arena and cameras, and it takes a while to get comfortable out there. Yeah, the passion for the game out in Malta is so huge that it's not a surprise that they have the exposure they have out there, because it really is a massive sport.
So at the table, Spencer Jones. He owns a club in Great Yarmouth, Spencer Sports Bar.
So a touching ball there for Spencer. That means he can just play away as long as he hits a cushion, which he has. He is fine. Certainly gives Gary Carr a problem.
It's quite a difficult escape at first glance. I don't know if there's some sort of a swerve on, but He's going to look to go twice across, so it'll be right cushion with right hand side. Yeah, that was tough.
Still a tall order here for Spencer to deal with his problem, but he can put ball in hand to try and solve it.
So I wonder, this red, he looks like he's about to play. If he could leave a bit more angle than he has, he could leave a natural just to pot the yellow in the same shot, then play a little delicate snooker next.
Oh, he's decided to play it from the angle he left and stunned into it rather than a natural.
Yeah.
And because he caught the ball over the pocket full ball, it's followed it in, and that is going to cost Wales the frame. As Gary Carr gets Malta on the board.
I have to say, I'm an interested spectator here. Clayton, who's playing Elliot, I will be playing him tomorrow in the World Championships. And I don't know nothing about him, so it's the first time I've seen him hit a ball.
Okay, so this is good for you. This is a recce. Clayton Castaldi.
Yeah, without being too horrible, I'd like to see him have an absolute disaster here. But no, he played on the table beside me and he won pretty comfortable. I think he won 8-0 or 8-1, and he didn't take much time in doing so.
Yeah, and you had a tough old match. Jake McCartney, was that deciding frame as well?
Yeah, we had a bit of a battle, kind of dragged each other down in the end, and fortunately for me, his break really didn't do him any favours, and he got kicked in off in the decider, and I managed to just keep myself together and roll the balls in the end.
A messy layout here, so Clayton just turns the table over to Wales.
Looks to me he's left him half a chance here. I say half a chance, quite a good chance, everything goes. I think the 8 ball goes in the pocket, he's going to play this yellow in. Just got to mind his work. He's
Could have done with sliding by that yellow rather than kissing it.
Yeah, the only benefit of that, it does make it that bit easier down the rail, but it was a big pocket anyway. It'll probably be his last ball now for the 8. Although looking where the cue ball is, he has to play for it now, which he has done.
It's actually hard to get nicely out for the next ball.
Yeah, I don't know how much thought he gave that, but he needed to really give himself a bit more angle there. I'm not sure if the yellow closest to the 8 ball actually goes underneath. You can see there, I think it does.
So he screws up and down the table to try and get to it, but the problem with that is you're hitting it so hard, you're moving the red, and the red goes and moves the moves the other reds into the 8 ball. So the 8 ball did go, it doesn't now. Caused himself a problem. He can still get out because he's got yellows close enough to develop it, but has to make a good one down the rail, and he doesn't. That was a better chance than he made it look there. There was definitely an out for him available.
But as we mentioned at the top of the match, this one frame pool scenario, there's always a twist. There's always something that happens. There's always, both players have been at the table with their hand on the table. There's no drama like team pool, there really isn't.
It's really hard to sort of put it into words quite how different you feel out there. It doesn't matter how good a player you are, what you've achieved in the game. It just feels different and it feels harder. There isn't a player that hasn't made bad mistakes under the sort of pressure you feel in team pool.
Absolutely. So it looks as if he is eyeing up a bit of a finish here. He's going to pot the red and run into the cluster of 3, the black and the 2 reds.
So be careful that the 8 ball doesn't tie up with a yellow. He'll take that. He will take that. Wasn't a huge amount of control into it. It was more a case of I'm going to go into it with some decent pace and kind of hope for a result, and certainly worked.
I won't be best pleased if he keeps that up tomorrow. So is it a delicate cannon, or is he going to try and find the gap? He's played that perfect. So as long as he keeps himself together, Malta will find themselves 2-0 up. Is it a shorter shot clock in the last 15? Or
It is. So for the first 30 minutes, we're at 30 seconds a shot, and then it reduces down to 15 seconds. And well, you're perfectly placed to tell us how tough it is at 15 seconds a shot.
yeah, it's carnage. There's not much more you can say. It's just carnage. You have no time to think. You just have to play on instinct and sort of play the first shot you see.
2-0 Malta. Kevin Murcia gets us going once again here for Malta. Nothing drops, so it will be Tom Price with the first chance at the table.
I think it's yellows at first glance. We'll have to have another look in a second. Didn't quite catch them, did he? Didn't quite get the timing.
Yeah, not really opened up once again, have they? They're not the best quality of strike, and that just adds to the sort of tension of these frames where the finishes are fiddly and tough.
Yeah, it always seems to play a part. You never seem to, from Tom's point of view, he'd just have wanted a real straightforward finish just to get Wales on the board, but it never pans out like that. So he is attacking. Does he need to attack here? I'm not sure.
Sort of Tom's game though, isn't it? He is a very attacking player. He is going to pull back.
To be
or
fair,
is he? Can he play the plant?
Yeah, I didn't realise this shot was on.
Not on anything nice this time. I think he can clip one back, but it's very thin and he won't have much control of this cue ball.
No, the bonus of this shot is the top yellow will take a lot of the pace out of the cue ball. If that stops, I think he's got a shot.
Well, he hangs his head because he was thinking if he cannon the red on the break line, he'd at least have that yellow to the bottom left-hand corner. Looks like he's got one to the bottom right-hand corner, though. It's tough, though.
And just look at how the reds sit if he doesn't make the yellow. There's so much pressure on this shot.
What a big shot this is in the context of the match as well. Oh, he tried to make the one in the right centre.
Yeah, it didn't go. But, as we say in one frame pool, he's just made them two reds a little bit tricky, so...
Yeah, you always want your opponent to have as much of a problem as possible because it is never that easy. Kevin Murcia. Now, his first opportunity.
Don't know too much about him. At first glance, his stance looks a little bit unorthodox.
Got an angle here if he wants to just nudge open those reds, he can. He doesn't need to.
I think he tried to.
Just got into it a smidge too much if he did, but he's still fine. The two reds together, the left-hand one looks like it goes top right. That's what he's looking at now. It's just landing on it nicely.
Has he got the angle to play another little touch cannon, just delicate? No,
He's played on it.
Goes.
Oh, he's played on it really nicely as well. Oh, one more turn would have been really nice for him, so he could play it and get away from the other red.
Oh, it flew. He's slightly the wrong side of, so he's opting for the right centre. Then he's going to try and land extension. He's not so sure.
You can see the one to the bottom. That helps him a lot. He's having a look at it, but I don't think he can quite see potting angle.
I think if he could pot the one below the 8 ball, that would be my choice. I think this can get a little bit fiddly and smelly.
Just has to control the pace here. Doesn't have to do anything fancy with it, just control the pace.
And he just needs to beat the yellow.
Yeah, really nice.
He's looking it to the middle. I think he looks perfect just to stun up, but I've not got the best eye in the commentary box, so he was right, I was wrong.
we get fooled by the camera angles a lot here in the commentary box.
What a start for Malta.
Kevin Machia, he was not confused or in this venue, but in the under-25 squad for this year's World Championships, and isn't having the best of World Championships, to be honest. He's been knocked out of all the individual events already. Well, I mentioned the ultimate pool professional. He is now at the table, and he is playing well this week. When we've seen him playing in the teams, he has been going very well. I'm assuming the red next to the 8 ball goes through the gap. So if the one goes bottom left, he can see a route out here. These sort of connect.
Yeah, I think if he gets this shot right, it should lend himself a natural position coming into the red that you talked about, into the bottom left. Which he's played that very well, to be fair to him. The only slight thing he's looking at is if he leaves the red beside the 8 ball till last, it's not a straightforward positional shot.
And he just cannoned the wrong ball. You could see what he wanted to do. He was trying to cannon the one that's almost on that line in the triangle area. The one that if he got it full in the face, it would hold him on that red with an angle then to get back out.
Yeah, I'm not really sure there was a need to play a cannon. Do we assume now then that the red didn't go? And that we've been fooled all along?
No, I think it still does.
Yeah.
Although, is he looking at off for the yellow now? He is off the yellow, and he's made it off the yellow. The one thing he did do when he screwed down the table is he made the red, he just moved it a shade further left, and instead of being wide open going in the corner, it is now half a pocket.
I think I'd opt for the double here. I don't like this at all. Should flirt him with the other yellow as well.
And he threw it wide. Always worried about hitting the yellow in the way, and it makes you trying to stay away from it, and you miss it on the other wide side. So chance goes for Leiden, and we get to see Rich Gifford for the first time.
So if he was feeling nervous coming to the table, I think his first shot, there's not too much pressure on it, because he should play the yellow into the side cushion off the red, which will push the red out of the way, pot the yellow, and the cue ball naturally run safe. But
he's potted it clean, so he's sort of saying he's not going to need that pocket.
Yeah, he don't need to. It's one of them you'd sort of, if you can clear the pocket and have the red slightly safer, you've got a bit less pressure on your...
If he was straight on the one he's just cannoned to the top right, I could make a case for trying to get it all out the way previously, because that's the one he still needs to land on. I mean, it's still got plenty of room to land on it though.
See the yellow in between the red and the 8 ball there as we look?
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was straight in on it to the top right, and he could have held then onto the one into the middle, and then he would have had an easier job of connecting them all up. But he's still absolutely fine here.
Yeah, he'll end up dropping on it to the right centre in 2 shots time.
That's the wrong angle on it though. That is taking him away. Unless it passes the 8 ball now, I don't think it does.
But this kind of goes back to the very first shot. He's got a bit of a problem to deal with, and he would have took that away in the very first shot.
But it's just one of those, isn't it? If you can open up that pocket, why wouldn't you? Because you could still control the cue ball. It was just as easy a shot as the one he played.
And I just feel like there was no risk to it, but he's hit this very nice.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That really is brilliant.
But if you're being hypercritical, he still has to, there's a bit of pressure on this, whereas his pressure could have been gone, shot 1. I expect him to make it. And he has. Good shot.
Drops it in absolutely dead weight, just so he could hold the cue ball close enough to the 8 ball. Didn't want that rolling up to anywhere near the break line.
Oh, would you believe it?
And that all comes back, Dom, you're absolutely right. It all comes back to his first shot. If he opens up that bottom left-hand corner first shot, where he ended up, he would absolutely have had a routine finish. So that's the decisions you make out there. He has at least put pressure on Lydon, but Lydon will be thrilled to be at the table here. Can he pull out the big shot? Well, it's clever because he's put the cue ball where at least he's making it tricky here on the 8 ball.
He's definitely played the cue ball there more than the making the shot. But again, this isn't too, this is high percentage for a player of Richard's level and international pool level. You'd expect to go very close. And you won't leave it completely straightforward if you miss.
Well, he has missed. So this is easier chance than it was previously for Lydon, but without the security of leaving the 8 ball as safe. Although he'll probably leave the 8 ball as a double, probably. I don't know if he'll leave the cut on, but he has to back himself here to make the pot.
Yeah, I think the nice thing here, I think you just go for the pot and the rest of it takes care of itself.
Oh, he's kept it on the table, so it will be a double. I don't think this clips in. It's thin.
I'm going to say it does sneak in the cut, but the cue ball will be doing some laps. You can play the back double and get half a decent cue ball.
Double it is, and the double doesn't land. Wry smile from Lydon as he comes to the table again, because he knows he's still got to play a positional shot here, but he should be thrilled to be still in this frame.
Yeah, I think you don't want to be trying to do too much here, just stun her off the side cushion and give yourself a shot. And that's what he's done, sensible.
Well, we've gone over the halfway mark in this match. We're only on frame 4. There's only 17 minutes 40 left. 4-0 would be a huge lead. And huge lead it is. Lydon Obono gets the frame on the board. Malta are marching towards the semi-finals. Currently going Malta's way. 4-0 up in this 14 frame match, but only 17 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock, and they are looking very strong right now, because if that clock runs out down and they're in front, they will go through. And they're in here in frame 5 as well. Ryan Pisani at the table. He's taking on Andy Williams, who has to sit and wait.
Very good player, Ryan Pisani. Know him from the youth days when I was playing for England, under 23s. He's been around for what seems forever. And he's had some exposure on the telly. He's played in the World Cup of Pool, American Pool, with Tony Drago in the doubles. And he's got a great opportunity here to extend the lead. Just got to mind his work.
He's gone through this so calmly, and he's in absolutely perfect position here. Well, one of those two yellows must go, but he looks like he wants the right hand one to go, but I don't think it, well, maybe it doesn't. It's very tight. Makes a difference, because if he has to take the other one, then it's not a good angle. That's why he's spending so long looking at it. 30 seconds a shot, remember. But you do get 1 extension per frame, which he is using. And then we are going to be down to 15 seconds a shot in about 5.5 minutes time. And it didn't go.
Wow.
He convinced himself it went, and it didn't.
Well, if Wales are to make a comeback, it has to start here, and that will certainly be the turning point that they'd have looked to.
Andy Williams now needs to get his team going, needs to get Wales going here. They can turn this around, but 5-0 would be a tall order. I feel like he needs to win this one and win it quickly.
It's just the red ball closest to the 8 ball which is causing him the most bit of trouble here. Don't know if he can land just below the yellow ball, between the yellow and the 8 ball for it in the bottom left corner, which I think he can. The way he's motoring through these, I'm pretty sure it's doable for him. He looks pretty perfect here, just to leave himself straight on the second last red. Just stun back a couple of inches. That's perfect.
Still has to be careful here. His window isn't massive, but he's not moving the cue ball very far.
This is one of them, to coin a phrase from Mick Hill, nothing for short.
That's perfect. What a visit to the table from Andy.
Yeah, look comfortable from the off. A lot of pressure on this frame, and it's made light work of it. You heard one of the lads in the background shouting back in it. They fancy the job.
Now Wales may be back in it. They're on the board at least. But right now, it's going against them.
I see Zach Shepherd at the table. He must be playing some good stuff. He beat his teammate Tom Price, I think 8-1 in the men's singles this morning.
Yeah, it wasn't a surprising result, but a surprising scoreline.
Not the greatest split there.
Yeah, didn't really catch them very clean and left a messy table.
It's definitely one of them tables that looks worse on first glance than what it actually is, because I think at the bottom of the table it's a 3-ball plant, and the red will go dead and the yellow will stay potable. So it would only be the yellow ball closest to the 8 ball that's the issue.
That is what Wayne Benici is trying to work out right now.
Does that yellow go in the middle pocket between the red ball and the 8 ball? Yeah, the red ball and the 8 ball. If it does, you have to say it's a very good opportunity.
It's tight. Do you think it's tight?
He has actually got an option if he wants to be really aggressive. He can drop the yellow in the middle as we look now, and actually play the 4-ball plant and play a little cannon onto the yellow and the 8 ball. But he's losing a little bit of control by doing that. But he's actually perfect to play it. He can almost play it with a lot more control, with more angle, but he's choosing not to.
So he's going 3-ball, not a 4-ball. And that's not come out particularly well for him because of where the yellow's gone to that he hit. There's Belgium watching on. They're going to be up next against our host nation, Ireland. I think the noise will increase for that one. Belgium coming through earlier on over Mauritius, 8 frames to 2.
So judging by how he's queuing up here, we...
Didn't cue that one particularly well, and all of a sudden Wales bring the noise. There's some support out there for them. And Zach Shepherd with an opportunity just to tighten things up.
For a player of Zach's level and his experience on the international stage, you would expect him to get these. But I cannot emphasise enough the amount of pressure out there, particularly in team events, playing for your country, on a shot clock, live television. There's so many things to factor in.
Would you have been tempted to play the one next to the 8-ball? Because he could have played it as a little soft screw. Because whilst he doesn't need to, it's hard to get absolutely straight on that red.
Yeah, it's one of them, once you get it out of the way, it sort of makes things a lot easier. I'd have even been tempted maybe to play it now, just brush off the yellow, but he's actually played that very well. Oh, he's just a roll short. I thought he was going to carry on. So he'll go left corner, right middle for the 8-ball in the bottom right. But if you don't land perfect, which he hasn't.
Yeah, he could have got this spread out the way, second shot, and then he would have pretty much been home and hosed in this frame. Now he's got a bit of a problem. The cue ball's tracking into the 8-ball.
Yeah.
It's not a natural to slide by it, and it's not a natural to play on it.
If he flicks the 8-ball, the yellow comes into play. If he hits the black 4, he could stick on it.
And he missed the pot because he's focusing on the cannon. For me, that was all about his decision not to deal with that ball earlier in the visit. It's fine to have that as your last ball if you land perfect on it, but not guaranteed to land perfect, and he didn't.
Yeah, it's very similar to the frame a couple of frames ago with Richard Gifford. He had the opportunity to do his work very early on in the finish, chose not to, and it ended up costing him, and it looks as if it could do the same for Zach here. It's a good hit though. That's not the worst result.
Yeah, he's certainly making Wayne work here.
So I think in the end Wayne felt the pressure of the clock there, and he sort of got down and threw his arm a little bit, but he's had a bit of a touch that he's left the right angle on this yellow.
Very noticeable that we are now in the 15 seconds a shot. It really does put the pressure on. Oh, now Zach misses one.
I'm not sure, I'd have to see it again, but I thought he should have maybe screwed off the bolt cushion there. I didn't know, I wasn't quite paying attention. Oh, what's happening here?
Oh, this is team shootout, Paul. This is team shootout, Paul. Neither team right now can get this frame. They cannot get to grips with it.
I think it's as crazy as it sounds. Both players know how big a frame it is.
What a shot! Oh, incredible. Wayne Benici.
You'd have to say a frame like that where Wales thought they were going to win it twice, that's got to knock the stuffing out of them surely.
Yeah, 4 frames from here. It can be done. We've seen it before, but it's tough.
And it's the perfect start.
Yeah, Joseph Asher going in off.
Interesting, Lee Kendall in the background, keeping a close eye. He's seen enough, off he walks.
Very much a player here this week. There's Lee Kendall.
First shot, can he go through the gap of the 2 reds and land on the yellow to the right centre? Or does it go in the left centre?
A world of difference if it does.
It does. So it's the yellow in closest to the black spot. That's his problem. What has he got planned? He's tried to move it. What a shot that is, by the way.
Yeah, and a really good couple of cannons there. He's in shape here.
He's got to play a bit of a fiddly one here. Is it the natural? Ah, it was better than it looked.
That's not a great angle though.
No, it looks just off straight the wrong way.
The one by the 8-ball's tricky to get to, even if you were able to get good on the one on the right. And he tries to force it.
Force it with side,
Yeah.
that was tough. I think there might have been a case for playing the yellow closest to the 8-ball there. And
so Joseph Asher with a chance for Malta And he doesn't have to rush it, but looks like he's going. They are all on, getting nothing for playing safe, but I mean, he doesn't have to rush it. He doesn't just use the clock here. 4 frames up, the clock is ticking down. Take your, I mean, as much as you can, 15 seconds a shot, just take your time. His next shot's going to be tricky. To get from the 2 reds at the top to the 2 at the bottom, not easy.
I think they might be a plant. If they are, then he'll just stop the cue ball.
Yeah, he's coming around, he likes the plant.
Does need to get the cue ball far enough across though, because he doesn't want to be playing the plant as a half ball. He's played that good.
Just come across that one. He was trying to pot it absolutely full ball and come straight back, so he just has to mind his work with the pot and the cue ball. That yellow on the right hand side will play quite big here.
Yeah, he might have a bit of a smelly black coming up.
He pots the pot thick to try and avoid the yellow.
Oh, he's had a bit of help with the table, I think there. It just turned at the end.
Still a very awkward 8 ball. It's an easier 8 ball at 5-1 up than 5-1 down though. This is for 6-1. Oh, it stays up. Is there a final twist here for Wales?
And yet again we have another frame where both players have had a chance.
Oh, Dan Bishop's going to have a big shot coming up. In fact, he's going to have a couple.
It's dead straight.
He was trying to, it felt like he was trying to.
That's why he's playing that out. Yellow. He can't get out. Oh, what a pot that is.
Wow, still awkward here.
It's a flick in the middle.
Oh, the cue ball beats it. The simplest of tasks then for Malta to go 6-1 in front. Daniel Bishop never had feel or control in that visit. And with that 8 ball, he will feel that it may be a step too far for Wales. Malta in cruise control right now. But Malta are sticking with plan A. Gary Carr back out there. He's taking on Andy Williams. And he goes in off. So 3 minutes 20 on the clock. Malta need 2 frames, but they won't worry about that. It is just about managing that clock, and it's really hard to see how it's going to be any other result than Malta into the semi-finals. They will play the winner of Ireland and Belgium.
Yeah, this match is, unfortunately for Wales, this is all over, I think.
That miss doesn't matter too much. You feel Andy needs to run round and clear this up in about 25 seconds, and then a golden duck or a golden break, or both. And even then you're not going to make it, so it really is a match that's over here.
It has to be said, Wales will be disappointed. They have had their chances.
Yeah, losing the first 4 frames. They had chances in all 4 frames. Some of them were good ones as well. And Malta will be dangerous here. Not easy, and the first time out in the World Team Shootout. They get the win on the board because they were a seeded team through to this stage. And now, as I mentioned, they will go on and play the winner of Belgium and Ireland, which means they avoid the 2 big hitters in England and Northern Ireland who play in the other semi-final. There could be something happening here for Malta. You have to say though, Dom, this match highlights everything about shootout pool and team pool. It's just, there is no shot that is comfortable.
Absolutely, and the two most exciting formats of pool I've ever played in, being the shootout and then international pool as well, one frame pool. Having them both combined together is just a recipe for drama.
That's a lovely shot from Andy. Maybe too little too late, but see if he can make a nice finish here. At least get another one on the board for Wales.
Ooh. That's 6-2. They just need 2 golden breaks and 2 golden ducks for a shootout.
That's all, yeah.
Good finish.
It is still a very good finish from Andy Williams, you have to say. Yeah, it's nice to get that taste of it out there, and then you can dust yourself down and go again, and the experience of this match will only help them when they go into their semi-final. What a break that is.
Yeah, and if they start breaking like that,
wow, that's massive.
You'd almost have to say it's impossible to beat them. But of course,
yeah, it doesn't always play out like that.
Kevin can't break for all of them, so
see if he can run through these and beat the clock. Just shows you the way he flies through this and the way Andy went through his clearance in the frame before, that when that pressure comes off, you relax a little bit and you just start playing some nice pool.
Yeah, it's definitely much easier when the match is as good as done. You can just let your arm flow and make the most of the moment whilst you're out there. He wants to be quick if he wants to get the finish.
And now he runs. Well, that will be that. This time we hear the gongs, and this time it is the end of the match. Both teams had their chances. Wales let theirs go, and it's Malta that booked their place in the semi-finals. They'll take on Belgium or Ireland, who are coming next.